Hello, hello, and welcome. Today we're going to be doing a 20-minute practice about hip flexors. So grab a block. We're going to need 2 of these. So if you don't have them, hit pause, join me back here. We're going to have a seat on the block with the legs crossed in front of us. Sit up nice and tall with your head over your hips. And start to breathe in and out of your nose. You can close your eyes while doing this. And you know, we always want to tune in at the beginning of a practice because when we start to tune in, we become more aware of our bodies, what they need, what our body needs, and it helps us prevent injuries. So after this last breath, blink your eyes open and then pull the block out from under your seat. We're going to use this block in the next exercise, so put it under your left knee and get placed right up on top of it. Take your head over your hips again. I usually, let me show you this from the side, but I usually like to leave my hands here because it helps keep me honest about having my hips over my, head over my hips. I'm going forward and back here a little bit. You don't have to go very far, but you're going to start to feel just a little bit of pull on the connective tissue around the hip flexor area. Feels quite nice. This should be gentle because we're working on the connective tissue, and this is the first thing that we're doing. We're loosening the first layer of this. Now let's go into external rotation. Let me show you what that looks like from the front. You're going to take that back foot and you're just simply going to place it behind the front one so that the hip is an external rotation. And again, mind your alignment here, head over the hips and gently glide forward and back. You guys are doing great. Just keep breathing, and this is a gentle one. All right, the third dimension of the hip is internal rotation. So we're going to take this foot out to the side. This is usually where we're a little tighter. So be careful, you can use your arms when you come up. And again, this alignment is super important. So I'm going to keep checking my alignment here, head over the hips. And sometimes this position especially tends to take us off on like a sort of a northeast or maybe northwest track, but think about being on a train track just going north and south here. And stay with your breath. Very nice. Let's place the hands on the floor and gently come into a down dog position to switch sides. Mind the shoulders. So here's the shoulders. Slide the blades down towards your hips and rotate the crease of the elbow forward. Switch the block over to the other side and gently place your right knee on the block, left leg up. Here we go with our hip flexor teaser exercise. Head over the hips, of course. You might hear me say that quite a few times today. Once you've established that that head does stay over the hips, you're welcome to let go, but you know, you can always come back to that position just to make sure. Opening the hip to external rotation. Here we are with our alignment check again. Breathing slow and smooth in and out of the nose. And our good old favorite, the internal rotation of the hip. So you have 9 muscles in each hip that flex the hip, that are considered hip flexor muscles. So that's why we take different positions of the hip, because simply doing one angle doesn't quite get all 9 of those muscles. So we're just being thorough here. Keep breathing. And then gently release. Place the hands on the floor and step your foot back to down dog. And again, the shoulder blades slide down towards the hips and the crease of the elbow rotates forward. We're done with the block for now, but enjoy your down dog here. And then take your right foot, step it up and forward so that you come into a crescent lunge. This is a high lunge. Keep your knee over your ankle. Let's come down and step back into the down dog. See how good those step forwards and step backs are. Sometimes those are difficult, especially if the hip flexors are tight / weak. Did you know hip flexors that are tight are also weak? And weak hip flexors are also tight. It's absolutely true. So let's step back into down dog again. Deep breath. And then set the knees down on the floor. Next exercise we're going to do involves something to step over. So I've got these yoga tune-up balls, but you might have something else that you want to use. Something small. And we're going to come into that down dog position. And of course, we're going to set our shoulders up. So again, slide the blades down towards the waist and rotate the crease of the elbow forward. And really get into this position here. I'm going to demonstrate those two instructions. The shoulders come out wide, and then the crease of the elbow rotates forward. The same thing when the elbow widens, when shoulders widen, the shoulder blades drop down towards the hips. There's more freedom in the neck for you too. So in this position, notice the hips. I'm stepping over the item, but I'm not moving my hips at all. So your hips have to stay in place. Just mark where they are and only lift up, step over, lift up, and step back. This is going to help strengthen your hip flexors. Lift up, step forward, lift up, step back. If they are weak, you'll notice that here. But you'll notice also that as you do a few of these, you're going to have more space. You'll step forward a little easier. Let's step all the way forward now, coming back into that crescent lunge with the left leg forward. Nice deep breath. Exhale, step back to down dog. Switch your object over in front of your other foot. And here we go on this other side. You want to really focus on that, picking that foot up off the floor. And again, don't go around or circumvent the object. Go up and over. And if it's difficult, allow yourself to be challenged. Stay relaxed in your body overall, but allow the hip flexors to be challenged. Keep going. Notice how this is improving. You're able to step forward a little bit better after a few of these. Now step forward all the way into a crescent lunge. Keep the knee over the toes. And step back to down dog. Come out. Take a nice deep breath. All right, so we're going to grab a block. Actually, grab two. And here's what we're gonna do with them. Put them together. They're wide and short. We'll lie down first, then slide the blocks underneath the hips. Make sure your sacrum is supported here. And we're going to do a little hip flexor release. So pull your right knee in towards your chest. We're going to use the left side. You want to dig your left heel down into the floor, and you want to pull that left heel in close to the block. As you do, you're going to notice your glutes are going to engage. They're also going to maybe pick up off the block, like barely, but they're going to lighten a ton. And as you lengthen your leg down the mat, you can go in increments, or you can slide. And if you're sliding, you want to have that slide smooth as possible anyway. And once you get long enough, you'll be stretched out here. This is a nice little stretch. Flex your foot and push your heel gently into the floor. Here we go again. Let's do that one more time. Dig the heel. Slide, slide smooth. And breathe. Lengthening the hip flexors. Lengthening slow, smooth. And if you didn't go so slowly, you'd miss all of this whole exercise, what it really does. All right, lengthen that leg out, flex your foot, push the heel gently into the floor. Breathe. And release. Let's do our second side. So pulling that right heel in towards the block, you're going to dig the heel down. Your toes, yes, they might be up off the floor. Actually, I like that much better than leaving them on the floor. Incrementally reaching down the mat. And then extending the leg long, flexing the foot, pressing the heel down gently into the floor. Take a breath. You can even lengthen your arm up, right arm up, and relax. Let's do this one more time. You can leave that arm up or you can let it go, whatever is most comfortable for you. And start to slide. Now the stronger hip flexors get, the more control you have here, the easier your slide is going to be. So you may want to revisit this practice. And relax. Beautiful. All right, now we got both feet flat on the floor. We're just going to swivel the hips side to side. They're big swivels so that you can feel a little stretch when you swivel each way. This is a crowd pleaser. Just simple, but feels so good. Go ahead and lift the hips up, pull the blocks out from under the hips, and we are complete with this exercise. So roll to your side and gently push up to seated. And roll onto your belly. Oh yes. So we're going to do this little exercise now. We're going to take a leg out to a 90-degree angle with a flexed foot. Leaving the knee joint on the floor, lift your heel up and relax it. Lift your heel up and relax it. So we're getting into one of the oppositional muscles for your hip flexors. All 9 of those suckers, man, they point back to this glute medius. So we're going to try to turn this on. If your glute medius is a little dysfunctional, and to be honest, most people I see, their glute medius could use a little work. We're going to come into this next position to help that glute medius turn on. So we're going to sit in a double L position with the right leg in front. Now we're going to be concerned with the left leg. This is the one we're going to be working. So I want you to just push from the knee all the way through the heel down into the floor. Yup. You guys got it. And you should feel it right here. Right here where I'm pointing. And relax. Push down. And relax. Push down. And relax. And then push down one more time and hold to about 75% effort. You don't need to give it 100. Breathe and relax. Now we're gonna side to side. We're gonna side to side. Okay. Second side. Back leg pushes. Keep that foot flexed. There's approximately a 90-degree angle in the knee. And you feel it here. Glute medius. Glute medius is a huge key to so many things. So this exercise is really great for most of us. It also prevents hip breakage. Heck yeah. Pushing down, relaxing, pushing down, relaxing, and swivel. Yes, my friends. Okay, here we go. Second side. You can choose. You can either do a little pressing and releasing, or you can press down and hold here. Again, my recommendation is don't go to 100% effort. Go to like 75, switch, swivel, and then land over here on the left. And press. Yep. You guys have it. And swivel. Yes. So we make sure that muscle also turns all the way off. All right, here we go with a block. Here we go with 2 blocks. We're going to use them both, one under the heart, one under the head. They're at their flattest level, 4 inches high. And we're going to take the legs up with the knees together and the feet together. And then we're going to take the heels apart and then take them more apart and then the most apart. And put them together and relax them onto the floor. Let me show you from a different angle what this looks like. Just in case the angle's not the best. So this is what it looks like from behind. Knees are together, the feet are together. And then the feet come apart, knees stay together, feet apart more. Yep, and relax. Now, some of you may be a little weaker in the hip flexors, so this might be too intense. So I'm going to show this without the blocks. You're welcome to do this flat on the floor. Yep, you got it. Relax and then take a breath. And this last round, you can choose. You can put the blocks back or just go here and rest. Now, after that good strength work, we're going to go back into a more passive stretch. So we're going to come into Anjaneyasana or low lunge. Down dog first. Don't forget your shoulders. Step your right foot forward, place the left knee on the floor. And you want to keep your heel under your knee. That alignment's really important. You also want to make sure that your knee is not dumping inward. But here, we really get a little bit more by lifting the chest. So some people try to get the hip down toward the floor, but it's more about lifting the heart up, out of the pelvis. Think about your spine lifting up. Here we go into the down dog, and we're going to try this on the other side. Actually, before we do, let's spin open. Twist. And with this front foot, push down into the floor with the sole of the foot. Oh yeah. Get the glutes involved. And then down dog. And switch. Knee to the floor. Now with the toes in the back, some people ask, like, do I have to flatten my toes down? No, you can also tuck the toes under, but it changes the position of the kneecap. So if your knee is uncomfortable, try the other way, whatever that is. Lifting the heart, lifting the heart, lifting the heart. Beautiful, everyone. And release. Coming into a child's pose with the knees wide and the feet close. Take some deep breaths. Last but not least is our resting position. So for today's resting position, I'm going to recommend a 2-block position. One is at 9 inches high, the other one's at 6 inches high and long. So I'm going to place my spine right in the center of this block lengthwise and on top of this 9-inch block. And just focus on your breath. And I invite you to take a 5-minute rest here. with just your focus on your breath. As always, it's been a pleasure and an honor to practice with you today. Hit subscribe and let's practice together again. Have a good one.